November 9th. I'm Amy Core, and I'm joined by Kevin Van Eck, and we are actually live at the Westin at O'Hare. That's right, we are here because this week is our most current Ninja installation. So we're really excited to share with you a bit about what's going on here and the Ninja mindset. So grab your coffee, your tea, your power smoothie, your lemon water, your Diet Coke, the list goes on, and let's jump into the most recent episode of Coffee with Amy and Kevin.
That's right. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us live, like Amy said, from the Westin in Rosemont. We thought it was going to be appropriate today to talk about Ninja, right? Because we're here for 4 days. We have a great group here going through the Ninja installation. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Ninja selling, it is effectively the best sales process training that you could possibly go through. And I know that from personal experience. Amy knows that from personal experience. So we thought today we would share some of our top takeaways from Ninja so that you can learn now and also look forward to taking the Ninja installation in the future.
That's right. I remember actually taking Ninja, I think it was in 2015. And what I loved about it is that it really gave us the opportunity to focus on our mindset, but also on the idea that really real estate is a relationship-driven business. And so what I loved, I know day one was really kind of mindset, getting your mind right, focusing on what you think of yourself and being in the business. And I remember one of the things from day one that I absolutely loved, and if those of you who have taken Ninja, you're going to remember this. It was a video that they played, and there were basketball players, and they were all lined up. Some were in white t-shirts and some were in black t-shirts. And part of the messaging, or what you had to do when watching the video, was to watch how many passes the white team made during the video session. And so I remember watching, and I was trying to count and making sure I knew how many passes they had. And then at the end of the video, it came back and it said, okay, they had a total of 30 passes, but did you see the moonwalking bear that walked straight through the middle of all of the players? And I did not see the bear at all. And the whole idea of that message in that video is that what you focus on expands. And I was so focused on counting how many passes the players made that I didn't even notice that there was a moonwalking bear through the video. And so it really made me think about how sometimes when we have those sellers or those buyers and we focus so hard on an individual client and that's all that we think about, we end up not seeing all of the opportunity of other business or other things around us. So I loved how that video really illustrated the idea of making sure that you don't just tail into one thing, but you really think about the whole essence of opportunity in what's in front of you.
Yeah, I love that. Yesterday, during that mindset day, in fact, someone came up and said that resonated with them because they find that sometimes the people they surround themselves with are negative. Yep. And so what they said is, now it hit me that, when you focus on negativity, you focus on problems, or you focus on things that aren't positive, then that's going to expand. And you know how sometimes there's that phrase, bad things keep happening to the same people. I feel like sometimes we attract those things, right?
Right. So, I mean, it's such a great day, that first day at Ninja, that mindset, and it just makes you really, think about things from a different perspective. And what did you love about the first day when you went through Ninja?
Yeah, I think my favorite part of the first day, the mindset, was really the focus on being a player versus a victim. And so this is interesting because it's not just about real estate, right? It's mindset in life where a lot of us sometimes, it's easy for us to feel like we're a victim. Traffic is bad, to feel like bad things continue to happen to us. We got a flat tire, can't find the keys, spilled coffee on myself. I'm not getting business because this other agent is doing X. We come up with these excuses or reasons why we're not successful or we're not getting to where we want to go. And it's very easy to be a victim versus understanding what you can control and understanding that by taking action and by taking the opportunities, you can be a player.
Yeah, I tell my girls a lot of times to not be a victim, but to be a player out there in the world. So it works in business, but it really is a concept that I think works in life as well. So today, day 2, we are focusing on one of my favorites, the idea of flow. And if, again, many of you have taken Ninja before, or even have had the opportunity for a lot of the Ninja segments we've done throughout the year, we talk a bit about flow. And the idea of flow is really staying in flow with your sphere of influence, staying in the mix with the people that matter most. So Kevin, tell me a little bit about what you like from the idea of this day of flow and what you've gotten out of this.
I think it's something today that we talked about at the very beginning of the day, which, who do you focus on, right? Who do you talk with? Who are you reaching out to? And Ninja is all about focusing on the people that already know you. And the reason being, it's somewhat cliche, we should all know this, but people choose who they work with based on who they know, like, trust, and who they're connected with. And a lot of times we focus our energy on people that don't even know us, let alone feel connected to us. We spend a lot of time and energy on farming and some of these other activities, and we're not focusing on the people that already know, like, and trust us, which are the people that are going to be the advocates, the people that will refer us business. So that's something, very high level, but I think it applies and helps us refocus when we're looking where to, during business planning season, where to focus our money for marketing, where to focus our outreach. It's really on the people that already know you.
I think that's so important. I always say sphere first, everybody else second. And for me, what I loved and what really resonated for this day, for flow, was the system that you can put into place to make flow really easy, and that's the 8x8 concept. And we've talked about this before in a lot of our different sessions throughout the year, but it really resonates because it is basically a plan to reach out 8 times in 8 different ways to a particular individual. But you can use it for so many different things. You can use it for referrals. You can use an 8x8 setup for your open houses when you want to follow up with any leads from the opens. And what the 8x8 made me think of when I was taking this class or the installation in 2015 is something that Thad had told me. When I was first selling in the business and I would get a referral, I wouldn't send a thank you gift or any sort of follow-up to the referrer until after I closed on that buyer or seller. So it would be months. I mean, I would say thank you initially, but I wouldn't do anything gracious to show my gratitude. And I remember having coffee with Thad. This was way back, maybe 2005. And he said, Amy, you're totally missing the point. He said, you should be thanking them the minute that they give you that referral. Not only that, but you should be staying in contact with them throughout the entire life cycle of the transaction, checking in and letting them know how it's going. And so when I heard about the 8x8, I thought about Thad in that conversation and realized, yes, he was right, but the beauty of it is in this day of flow, it actually shows you how to do it in a way where you can set your 8x8 up ahead of time for these different situations, whether it's a referral or an open house lead, so that when you get that person, I'm going to do my 8x8 for my referral source and make sure that I reach out 8 times throughout the transaction cycle in 8 different ways.
I love that. That makes it super easy, because how many times have you talked with an agent who's trying to figure out what to do every time after every open house, and they end up doing nothing, or the referral, really reinforcing the referral behavior right up front.
Right, because you never know, they might send you a referral, and if they don't hear from you for 3 or 4 months until after that buyer or seller transacts, think about how many opportunities you may have missed because they weren't really sure what was going on. They could have had somebody else they were wanting to refer to you. So
right.
I think instant gratitude and thinking right away and having a systemized approach is really what I got out of this particular day at Ninja.
Yeah, I think that's cool. And one more note on that is that how many times do we get a referral that doesn't close, so we don't end up sending anything or saying thank you? It's really easy to remember the referrals that close, the buyers that actually buy and the sellers that actually sell. But how many times do we not reinforce a referral when they actually don't buy or sell?
Well, because you want to reinforce the behavior of them referring somebody, right? You don't want to reward only if it turns out to be a transaction for you and sort of money in your pocket, right? It's about them referring people because they know whether they buy, sell, or don't, that you are a great agent that can help guide them in whatever direction they need to.
Yeah, I think one of the things overall that I really like about Ninja is that there's scripting and there's dialogues. Right, because a lot of times we may know or have an idea on what we want to say, but it's much easier if it's already written for us.
Right.
And then we can learn it and use it. There's something that I use professionally and personally, and it's called the magic wand.
Ah, yes.
So the magic wand, if you're talking, let's say, with a seller, and a seller says, we're in no rush, we're not really in a hurry right now, how do you get past that? How do you get them to set a date so that there is some sort of urgency or timing in what they're trying to do? So the question is, well, pull out your magic wand. And when would be the perfect time for you to move? If you could pick any time, when would be the perfect date when you would move into that new school district or when you would move into that new neighborhood? And they'll come up with a time. And I joke about the personal situation simply because if you ever have a group of people and you can't decide where to go for food or drinks, or you're trying to decide an activity to go do, ask someone what their magic wand is, and in a perfect world, what would you love to do right now? And they'll have an answer for you. When 30 seconds earlier, when you said, what do you want to do tonight? They said, I don't know, what do you want to do? So it works in
I think I'm going to try the magic wand. I'm bringing it back out. I'm going to try the magic wand at home. I think there's a lot of ways that I can apply that that's going to work in my favor, which is most important. I love it. And then I think one of the other big things that I got out of Ninja, probably in like the last 2 days, when it really focuses on working with sellers and then working with buyers, but this idea of having a process. And I laugh because we beat having a process pretty much to death, right? Just look back at our business planning videos, and it's, having what I like to say is a method to your madness. But I think we are agents, so we are a little bit mad, and I think if you do have a method, it just makes it so much easier. And I thought, when I took Ninja in 2015, I thought back to how I really didn't have a lot of processes in place. And I actually remember right after having Molly, I had an opportunity for a listing presentation, and it's vague as to whether or not I brought her with me at 3 months old, which would make an impression in and of itself. But I remember feeling very scattered and scrambled and didn't have my act together. And needless to say, I didn't get the listing. But I learned from that. I started recognizing that you can't just fly by the seat of your pants. I mean, you can, but it makes it a whole lot harder. And when you actually have a process or certain steps that you take, it actually builds confidence. And it actually goes back to what you were talking about. I am a lover of scripts. I actually like to know what I'm going to say and then figure out how I'm going to put it into words that sound like me. And I do. I rehearse in the shower. Sometimes my girls laugh at me because they can hear me as I'm putting makeup on in the bathroom. But scripting and having a process actually makes you feel a lot more confident and more comfortable that you really know what you're doing. So I feel like for me, coming out of those last 2 days of Ninja, that was kind of my aha, for sure.
Yeah, that's really neat. Yeah, we talk about relationships being core, but it's really now with that race to quality, it's about the reinforcing that you know what you're doing. Right?
Well, I think it's both. I mean, I think the idea is you have to develop the relationship, right? You have to get them to want to call you and reach out to you. But then once that magic moment happens, you need to be able to say, let me tell you how I work. Here's my process. That brings them comfort that they are taking that step in the right direction, that the relationship is great, but you also are the professional that they think that you are, going to be. So I think that's kind of critical. So I think it's a combination really of both.
That's great.
Relationship and processes.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, well, we could talk about Ninja forever, right? If you know neither one of us, you know that everything is the most important thing. So we're going to stop there, but you can do your own research at ninjaselling.com. In fact, if you're with App Properties, of course, we're going to have another installation coming up, so watch for that. If you're not with App Properties, check out ninjaselling.com. They have installations all over the country, 4 days. It's an investment of time and money, but well worth it.
Yes, and also in 2022, we are going to be bringing back Ninja Accelerator, which is like bite-sized nuggets of Ninja throughout the entire year. So we'll hit on things like the listing process, the 8x8, staying in flow, your mindset, all the things that they talk about in these 4 days, we actually break out through the entire year. So really just a great opportunity to figure out how to take these nuggets and put them into practice.
Yep, it's going to be great. So until then, until next week, thank you so much for joining us. Fill your coffee again, and you've got this.
Have a great day, team. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Yep, make it a great day, and you got this.
You do have this. And stay caffeinated.
Forever.
And ever.
Amen. You got this.
No, you really do got this.
You got this. Okay.
I'm not giving you a cue.
Seat wet?
Or did you just pee?
No, I did not pee my pants.
Oh my god, it might be wet on mine too when I get up.